All right. Welcome back. I wanted to hop on here, go over some of the stories that have surfaced recently. These stories, oh my goodness, there's no pause. And when there is a pause, let's say a day or two, they'll make up for that day or two. So, crazy story after crazy story. This story is one of them. Surfaced yesterday. Officials asked the person who left the dead dog outside of a Central Pennsylvania Humane Society to come forward. Now, why do things like this happen? It sounds like a moment of stress. For you to think something like this out, for you to be that driven, that determined, that motivated, knowing that you're risking your freedom. You get nothing out of this. The only thing you do is get yourself in trouble. So this sounds like something that a person does when they're under extreme stress. What's the cause of the stress? It's not all about demonizing some person you don't even know. This happens with every case like this. The alleged perpetrator is always demonized and nothing but demonized. And the dog is always turned into an angel, even though nobody knows what happened. Maybe the dog actually did something and somebody acted in self-defense. Okay? They don't care. The dog is always innocent when the dog is hurt. So, yeah, I guess somebody just hung a dead dog outside of the Humane Society. And this don't surprise me. With the things that goes on with these shelters, these humane societies, the scams they run on the public is criminal. It does not surprise me that here and there you'll have people who try to do something to hurt the people's feelings at one of these humane societies. Because these people specialize in hurting families. That's what they specialize in, and lying to the public. Like I said, you can't just go around doing stuff like that. Lying to the general public, endangering them, which is the result of your lying. And for you to do this generation after generation, deceiving people, you can't do that. You can't just do wrong by people nonstop. Those people will eventually rise against the deception. Okay? It's only a matter of time. So what? Somebody dropped it off outside the shelter. And really, this is not... What's so criminal about this? They left the dog outside of a humane society. Okay, so it's not like they were trying to harm the dog. They wanted the dog to be found by people who care about dogs. What better choice do you have? If you're going to abandon it, isn't this the humane choice? Just a thought. It's just a thought. Okay. So yeah, that surfaced yesterday. And shout out to everybody up in the house on this fine Friday. Right. Try to soak in this weekend. And really every hour that I have outside of work, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, and I need more days off. Yeah. Like, speaking of dogs being found, this surfaced just a few hours ago. Maybe not even an hour ago, this story surfaced. Dog found shot in the face in Homestead, recovering as neighbors decry gunman's actions. Okay, see the date here, December 30th. It is today.
New at 11, a dog is on the mend tonight after being shot and left helpless in the street. Now some volunteers are giving it the help it needs. The night team's Joe Rhodes is live in the Plex with more. Joe.
That's right, Jeff. It's incredible that this dog survived such a violent and shameful attack. Now neighbors want to know who did it while that dog finds the good.
Why immediately go to insults? Why? They don't waste no time. They lay charges on whoever did it right away without knowing anything, no details about the story. Okay? As always, you just found a dog that was shot. You don't know what happened.
Deserves.
And just because you found it shot doesn't mean that it deserves something. Especially if it was shot in self-defense. Don't deserve nothing. If it was shot in self-defense, it don't deserve nothing. I'm just tired of this narrative that dogs always deserve something. Oh, the food and water it don't deserve nothing. Man, what are you talking about?
Dog survived such a violent and shameful attack. Now neighbors want to know who did it while that dog finds the good home it deserves.
It hurts real bad to see a dog get shot and be hopeless.
Heartbreaking images of a dog.
What? What? What are they talking about? They just assume to know the full story. Man, how is that acceptable? How is that acceptable? You're guilty till proven innocent.
Struggling to recover after it was shot in the face and left for dead.
He never was violent. He never attacked nobody. Nothing.
How you know? How you know? You don't know what happened?
Looking for comfort and somebody to feed him.
Oh, stop. See how this is what I'm talking about. Where these people assume that there are a bunch of crazy people out here who just love to beat on dogs and shoot dogs and kill dogs just to see the dog in pain. See, they project the dog's personality onto people who defend themselves from them. You just defend yourself from an attack. They find the injured dog. Oh, you just wanted to see it in pain. No, that's what the dog wants. That's why the dog attacks. Literally. And they swear up and down there's a bunch of people out here the same way. No. Based on the math and the facts, it's much more likely that this was an act of self-defense. After all, we have the yearly statistics that are very consistent of attacks, and this is a pit bull. The statistics on pit bulls are consistent as well, and they're irrefutable. So just based on the numbers, on the facts, the stats, this was most likely an act of self-defense.
And somebody to feed him.
Gloria Rosario and Fahim Ellison got to know the neighborhood stray, nicknamed Chico in Homestead off South.
And it was a stray? Who just let stray pit bulls roam around the neighborhood? What in the world?
West 128th Avenue. Until one day last week,
We heard a gunshot, and I went outside, and the dog was there. He was shot.
And now, see, all these people trying to play dumb. As if everybody is not on edge when they see a stray pit bull. They want to play dumb now. As if, oh, I have no idea why they would shoot it. It probably attacked somebody. What is wrong with these people?
He was running around. We just heard people screaming, that somebody shot the dog.
shot under the eye, and the x-ray shows that bullet traveled down into the dog's chest. After days of it running from people in pain, that poor pup picked up and taken to an animal hospital.
Hi, Bobby.
Now, with a new nickname, Brute is being cared for at the animal clinic.
We just have to do a CAT scan to see where exactly it is and if anything was damaged on the...
Okay, way to go. Now you're about to nurse this dog back to health so that it can do what? Attack somebody else. That's what all these shelters are for. To repair the serial murderers. The serial terrorists. It's to patch them back up and to get them back in shape so they can go out and attack somebody else. That's all this does. That's all it does. We don't get nothing out of this.
The way down. The heat of the bullet.
Cindy Muchachio with I Heart Animal Rescue is stepping up to help, but those bills are adding up.
He's in stable condition now. They had to put him on oxygen yesterday because he did have pneumonia.
And while people in the neighborhood want the gunman caught,
You're a coward. You should turn yourself in, and you should pay for what you did.
No. You a coward. You a coward. For putting a stamp of approval on a stray pit bull roaming around the neighborhood. What is wrong with you? What are you talking about? And again, you don't know what happened. This was probably self-defense. This is a stray pit bull. What is wrong with these people? Boy, this is entitlement behavior. This is entitlement personalities that we're dealing with here. And they're like kids, like spoiled little brats who too silly to see how flawed their little arguments are. It's cringe. This is so cringe.
neighborhood want the gunman caught.
You're a coward. You should turn yourself in, and you should pay for what you did.
He's an animal.
Listen to this. They don't know what happened. No, this is not acceptable. You're an animal. For assuming somebody is a horrible person when you don't even know what happened.
He's an animal.
A coward.
He's a coward.
You an animal and coward. It take courage, it take maturity to say what I'm saying. To say we don't know what happened. And there is a strong chance this was self-defense. So no condemning of the person who could have been defending themselves. See, with the way they react is simple-minded. And that's a big problem today. Everybody want to be simple-minded.
Coward.
He's a coward. He's an animal. He's not human. You don't do that to him. If you can shoot a dog, you can shoot a kid.
Oh, if you could shoot a dog, no. That's just simply a lie. There are many people who would shoot a dog, especially in self-defense, but would not shoot a kid. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? How did you find that out? How did you discover that? Fill us in on your scientific research, your sources of information. And this is something that dog lovers have said before. And it's their way of just saying, hey, a dog is just as important as a kid. Dog's no different from a kid. No, nutters.
Oh, you can shoot a kid. That's how I feel.
They'd also like to see this
Hey,
stray.
look, don't nobody care how you feel. Nobody cares how you feel when your IQ is that low. Your feelings are irrelevant because much of your feelings is coming from the fact you got a super low IQ. Look, I'm sorry. Everybody get a chance to prove that they're a clear thinking person. And if you don't fit the bill, it's dangerous to treat you as if you have a high IQ. You know, we got to identify these people that's not fit to be in the general public.
Be healed and head to a good, loving home.
You guys can donate.
And these people talking about this thing deserved to be in somebody else's home. Y'all don't know the history of this thing at all. And even their experts say, if it has had any traumatic experiences, if it's been slapped around at any point in its worthless life, that it could snap at any point in the future, unprovoked. So how does it make sense to say this thing deserved to be in somebody else's home? No, it deserved to be euthanized based on your own testimony, from the testimony of your behaviorists. Based on what they've said, this thing should be euthanized. But once again, as always, they get a free pass to be hypocrites, to go against what they've said at some point.
Head to a good, loving home.
You guys can donate anything you can. Please donate.
All right, so
I'll donate to the euthanization of that mutt. Gladly. I'll pay for the whole thing. What are you talking about? So this story surfaced, today, just a few hours ago. Boy, oh boy, the Nuttery. Another mutt. This surfaced a few hours ago. Dog found tied up outside Des Moines Airport. Okay. Dog found in an airport. Dogs. Okay. Who cares? Who cares? And then you show somebody hugging a pit bull. That's all they wanted to do. They just wanted to take a moment to project pit bulls as harmless angels. These are killers. Are you pit bull lovers? You get off on these goofy photos like this. These are killers. Well, nothing changed. I don't know what y'all looking at anyways. I don't see nothing pleasant looking or angelic looking. It looked just like the killer that it is. The brainless, soulless killer that it actually is. So what? You found a worthless mutt. Whoever's owned it, they boarded the plane without the dog. Maybe they'll try to find it again. And another dog was shot. This surfaced a few hours ago. Florida man arrested after shooting a dog in a dog park. Again, what type of stress was this person under? Was this person a victim of abuse where, their parent treated a dog like it was more important than them? That's abuse. That's neglect. Neglect is a form of abuse. This is a culture of abuse. Sanctioned sacrifice, sanctioned abuse. Crazy stuff. Okay. Arrested for he shot a dog during altercation in a dog park. Okay. Fight between Thompson's dog and another dog. Okay. So a guy pulled out a gun and shot the other guy's dog. So it wasn't self-defense. What in the world are they talking about here? He was charged with aggravated animal cruelty, discharging a firearm in public, and displaying a firearm during the commission of a felony. Okay. Whatever. What in the world? Oh, I know some of you heard about this story. Some woman, some dog lover kicked off a train. And boy, as expected, it was pathetic. Wait a minute.
Hey, sweeties.
That's the voice of Brent Bell, who began recording on his phone seconds after Grand Junction police approached two older passengers, informing them they would have to be removed from the train.
All this was over was a little bit of dog poop that they cleaned up fast and cleaned up immediately. And these poor timid ladies were just shocked that this was the treatment that they were getting, that their holiday season was going to be interrupted and put out.
Bell says he began
Yeah. Your dog defecated on a train? You know how toxic dog excrement is? You know how worse the health hazard became after that happened? You're in a confined space and a dog defecates. They said this dog was urinating as well on the train. That means you've not trained this dog to not urinate and defecate on trains. So yeah, you get kicked off. Nobody care how fast you cleaned it up. How far could it go? You on a train. You've already contaminated the air, the atmosphere. The damage is done. And what should be done from that point is to get you off the train before it does it again.
Recording because he knew he would witness an injustice.
I'm tired of unfairness, and I have...
No, what's unfair is forcing people to have to deal with that. You see, this entitled mentality they have where they can't think of anybody other than themselves. See, they're not talking or thinking about others.
I guess I have a place in my heart for little old ladies.
The train left Oakland just days before...
Place in your heart for little old... Dude, that's emotional. This is a health hazard case. So it has nothing to do with no emotions. Nobody cares about your feelings for old ladies. You got a soft spot for old women. Who cares? Old people endanger other people. It needs to be addressed. What you talking about?
Christmas, and was Chicago bound. And so too were the two sisters and their Pomeranian, which Amtrak told us created a disturbance by repeatedly barking, urinating, and defecating on...
Okay, barking, urinating, and defecating. So this is one of those types of dog owners with one of those types of dogs. And these people feel like the general public should all universally accept the presence of that. And this thing urinates and defecates on a train. You got people in there with masks on. Y'all see that? Where bacteria, viruses are trying to be kept at bay. And you let your nasty mutt urinate and defecate on the train. Yeah, you get kicked off. Man, they need to kick every person off of trains. Y'all shouldn't be on trains with dogs.
On the train.
We would have to have you guys exit the train. Happy to have that, stand by way of that conversation with them and see what, the good solution is with this situation.
They'll just go get a room and relax, and they'll put you on a train tomorrow if you can work things out.
That was the train conductor. I spoke on the phone with one of the sisters who said he and others were targeting them the entire ride and harassed one of them as they were going to the washroom.
Whatever the disturbance was, there was enough of my video going on, and I even said it to the people in the car. Hey, is anyone bothered by this little teeny dog? Not one person spoke up.
Other pet.
Oh, so what? Somebody was uncomfortable. You see, she's getting up off that train. Nobody had to answer to you there on the spot. And yeah, a lot of people are shamed into silence. I wouldn't have been. I've been like, yeah. Mutt keep barking, urinates, defecates on the train. Yeah, I'm bothered by it. What you talking about? Dude, in this era right now of masks and viruses and outbreaks, you on a train and the dog urinates and defecates on it? You know how contaminated the atmosphere is at that point? Even the very air you breathe, man. There ain't no mask around the excrement. Do you understand that? People wear masks to block the moisture, so the moisture will get trapped when it comes out of their mouth. What's going to trap the moisture in that excrement and urine? It's just going airborne. What's wrong with y'all, man? See, and they want to act like the victim because people won't allow them to act like lunatics and sociopaths.
Pets were on that train and are usually allowed to ride one per passenger. We asked Amtrak.
Oh my goodness. That entitled mentality, man. It just blows my mind. It's mind-blowing stuff. Now, some of you remember this. This Japanese man, he's in Japan. He spent $16,000 to become a dog. He had this expensive, elaborate suit created. A dog suit. And he gets inside of it and pretends to be a dog. $16,000. And he said he's afraid to show his face because others will think that he's weird. Can't make this up. A dog costume, and he pretends to be a dog. $16,000. He's got a YouTube channel. On this channel, he's pretending to be a dog. All right, can y'all see that? That is a man inside of a suit, pretending to be a dog in a $16,000 suit. I think that's the equivalent of 2 million yen or zen or whatever the currency is over there in Japan. Now, do y'all think this man is well? He's never shown his face. All these videos on his channel is of him in a costume. He's never shown his face. And he said he's scared to show his face because his friends and family will think he's weird. Okay. Oh, at a certain point, you just gotta disengage. You gotta disengage at a certain point. Like, really? Why? What does that do for you? To pretend to be extremely dumb. Like, it bothers me that people find pleasure in pretending to be very, very dumb. Like that's something desirable. There's nothing desirable about being dumb. I just don't get it. Shout out to Soda Pop Jones in the super chat. Big shout out to Soda Pop Jones in the super chat. Big shout out to Mr. Jonathan Payne in the super chat. Big shout out to the homie Jonathan Payne. Now, people, don't you think this is a type of obsession or an addiction? Yeah, we always talk about dog obsession or dog love. It's a addiction, just like a crack addiction. And they can't explain why they get so much pleasure. But this man said ever since he was a child, he's always wanted to become a dog. And my thing is, why? Why? Again, why? To me, there's nothing impressive about dumbness. There's nothing impressive about a severe lack of intelligence and hygiene. What's appealing about that? That's troubling to me. The humans would, if you're going to aspire to be something other than what you are, at least aspire to be something superior to yourself. I would love to acquire the intelligence of certain extraterrestrials. I know they're out there somewhere, and I know wherever they are, they got a lot of intelligence. They've been collecting information for a long time. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not going to try to become no alien here on Earth around humans. There's a difference between admiring something and you just want to live as a dog. This man clearly doesn't even know. He's clearly uncomfortable with himself. Like, why would you want to present yourself to the world like this? As a dog? And what are you doing? In this costume, he's doing what? Nothing. Literally nothing. Not having no conversation. I get on here and I talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I enjoy it. I'm communicating, which is the most complex form of communication. Language. Why do I enjoy that? Because I am a human being. So I partake in gifts unique to us. What are you getting out of this, man? Where's the appeal coming from? Where's the pleasure out of doing this? You don't need to be inside of a costume to do this. Huge problem. Huge problem. Looking at dogs as if there's something to aspire to be. You need your head examined. It's really that simple. You need your head examined. This person seemed like he was jealous of the videos floating around here on the internet of dogs. And he wanted that attention that the dogs get for himself. Man, the things people will do for attention. But what kind of attention is this? The only attention I enjoy is the kind where I'm sharing information and absorbing it, where I'm learning. There's an exchange of data. You see, I always have to be learning something. If not, than sharpening up something that I already know or expanding. But this is troubling. This is troubling stuff right here. And this falls in line with what I talk about here. A lot of work to be done as far as getting people to appreciate themselves just as they are. The inclusion of dogs to enhance our relationships with each other is nonsense. And it's the evidence of a problem, a serious mental and social problem that we have. Okay. Now this was some weird article that surfaced, I think, sometime this year. I think it's 7 days ago it surfaced. Children who live with dogs. One of these crazy articles, and it's real short, super short. Over the past years, science and technology have made a number of discoveries that confirm a long list of benefits for children who live with a dog. Among them are better physical and emotional health and better social relationships as an adult. How? Better social relationships? You have the worst social relationships. When you become an adult, that's when you start terrorizing communities, neighborhoods, sometimes stopping their mail from arriving. That's when you start keeping people up at night with your dumb barking mutt. That's when you endanger everybody in the community and their kids. Many of them will be afraid to let their kids out to take out the trash, or the mailbox, or even play. That don't enhance relationships, maybe among dog lovers. But as always, when they speak, they act like we don't exist. Better physical and emotional health. No. Some of the most out of shape people I've ever seen were dog lovers. What are you talking about? And their emotional health, they've already discovered that their emotional health is worse than non-dog owners. Already proved it. Okay. Dog involvement has many advantages, and they come in a variety of different forms. For some, it is the experience of growing up with and caring for a dog, or participating in a dog sport. You can grow up and care for your younger brother or sister. You'll be just fine. You'll be a lot better off. You have a stronger household. No. Just like all the other pro-dog articles, they try to talk about benefits of growing up with a dog. It's all a bunch of nonsense. As if dogs possess some magical power and only they are able to provide a growing child with certain qualities. And you look at these benefits that they name, none of these so-called benefits offset the physical threat that they bring to a home. Since they chose this photo, a home like this, that child is always in danger. None of these goofy benefits offset that. None of them are beneficial enough to accept that type of threat. You know, many people, I understand, they won't admit to that until after there's an attack. And even then, many of them still won't admit to it. They'll just blame the child. Oh, watch your kids. Make sure you watch your kids now. Lord. Owners of dogs shot by police say they want more answers. This surfaced a few hours ago. Once again, dogs shot by cops. That's the pattern. That's the culture. That's the culture. Police lead the way in shooting dogs. At the same time, police are some of the biggest dog lovers in the world. In this article, the dog owner referred to the dog as a person. Get down here. It's very unfair because how is his life any different? She's saying, how is the life of her dog any different from the life of a police dog? She said, you've just taken a life. You haven't just taken our family member. You've taken my partner's best friend. You've taken a person who got him out of the most difficult situations. Just called the dog a person. She said, you haven't just taken our family member. It's not your family member. That's either true or it's not. What's the truth? Is it your family member or not? No, it's not. That can be proven. So you're lying. Again, lie, 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 lie. Everything is lie, 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 lie. Anytime it's their turn to talk, it's a lie, 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 lie. Imagination, lie, lie, lie. It's not your partner's best friend. You can't have a best friend that you can't communicate with. It's not possible. We got certain laws as humans. Okay? That don't work. And then, of course, she called the dog a person. It's not a person. There you got 3 lies. And this is probably a 4th lie. That the dog got him out of the most difficult situations. I doubt it. I doubt that that's true. And why should I believe you at this point after you've already been busted in 3 lies in really less than 2 sentences? This is what I'm talking about, man. Well, the cop probably was defending himself like they always are. That's exactly what happened. And she is complaining. She's saying that the cop could have used pepper spray. She says she's heard of cops using pepper spray and that it is effective. Here's it right here. I don't understand why he didn't use pepper spray. We've been told and we've read multiple comments of police have used pepper spray on dogs. It is effective by the sound of it. That is a lie. You haven't found a whole bunch of comments saying that. Where? On what platform? Hey, if you hear this video, go ahead and answer. Again, it's a recent story, just surfaced a few hours ago. So owner Jessica Inglis is her name. Jessica Inglis, if you hear this video. I don't believe you. Where'd you read this at? All these comments from police saying that they used pepper spray on dogs and it's effective. Cops almost always pull out their gun. Cops don't go around pepper spraying those mutts. We got a lot of stories about pepper spray not working. Now that those stories are out there. Baseball bats not working. Tasers not working. Beanbag rounds not working. So I don't believe you. The bullet worked. The cop is safe. The threat was neutralized. That worked. So good thing he didn't shoot anyone. There was no ricochet. Man, you cannot make this up. And look at this goofy article that surfaced today. Dog dies after getting caught in a hunter's trap. So the trap was meant for a natural animal. Nobody would have complained had the trap actually caught the other animal. We wouldn't even hear about it. That's part of the problem. Stop putting dogs on a pedestal. What was this? Type of bear trap? Okay. Hey, welcome to the club. Other animals get caught in traps all the time. Look how long this article is, just talking about a dog that got caught in a trap. Isn't that ridiculous? This is what I'm talking about, man. The goofiness in this culture is just too much. It's overwhelming. You know, your brain, sometimes it feels like it makes me dumb. Sometimes it feels like it's making me dumb. You know, and I have to disengage and I got to focus on something. I actually have to learn something. I spend a lot of my time learning stuff. I have to be in a position of a student for a certain amount of time, always. Or else it's like I'm being dumbed down by the ignorance. Man, you cannot make this up. Right? Shout out to everybody in the house. Shout out to Learning Life with Ashley, who has been a member of the channel for 15 months. Right? Big shout out to longtime supporter, Learning Life with Ashley. Sure to check out Ashley's channel. What's going on, man? What are y'all up to on this fine Friday? The sun is not out, but it's a lot warmer. It's like crazy right now. Here in Ohio, how many of y'all seen that video where they're pouring out water and the water will freeze instantly as soon as it come out the cup? I forgot what that was. But it's been crazy cold up here in Ohio. And now it's quite warm. I don't like this, man. I got to get away from this weather. Inconsistent weather is it's not good. It's not good. All these shifts. That's why the weather here is so bad. From what I understand, there are more tornadoes in the United States than there is in any country in the world, any other country in the world. You know, it's because of all the climate changes. Yeah, that's nature's way of saying, hey, don't live here. You know, go somewhere where it's warm year round. That's how to do it. Shout out to Yusuf Mambo in the building. Has been sending me some crazy stuff. When y'all see me retweet some stuff on Twitter, it's like 1 million dogs. How many people seen that retweet that I retweeted recently? Those images that comes from Turkey. Oh my goodness, man. It's like a bad dream. I would not have imagined. That it would look like that. But it's pretty crazy. Let me see if I can find that here. And I think it was a video. Right? I'm gonna find out where this is. Where is this? Somebody else. Yeah. they got a vest on this dog, but that's not no service dog. It's one of these people who got a fake vest, and service dogs not supposed to be inside of carts. They're not supposed to be inside of carts. Says this was in New Braunfels, Texas. Wonder what store this was, because this is a grocery store. You're not supposed to have that mutt in no grocery store. Here it is right here. What in the world? Really? Really? You walk outside and see this? The neighborhood belongs to the dogs. This will be the United States soon, if we don't put a stop to this madness right now. This is what they want. Dogs to get more and more rights. You know, they want them to function like humans in society. Look at this. At first, I wondered if this was like photoshopped. Like, what? Now, if our air in the United States is as contaminated as it is with dog excrement, can you imagine the air quality over here? Can you imagine? Man, help us. Help us. It's just too much. Oh, man. Somebody pointed out there are a lot of dog lovers in Turkey. And that's what I'm talking about. Turkey is like 90% Muslim. There shouldn't be. That's disappointing. Because I always thought that the Quran's teachings about dogs kept Muslims, away from them. Or at least the vast majority of them. For there to be so many dog lovers over there, that's unbelievable, man. That's just too much. Yeah. Oh, okay. Helltown, Ohio. Right. Yeah. Tornadoes are like something out of a nightmare. Something out of a horror movie. I don't like tornado weather. I just want warmth. That's all I ask. Warmth. Because if it's warm year round, then most likely you're not going to be flooded with tornadoes like that. That's mainly in these midway areas of the world. I don't know. I think United States is cursed, man. In many ways, this country is cursed. A lot of natural disasters and stuff like that go down in the United States. It's like just the tornado thing alone, more than any country in the world. And it's like by far. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I don't know about Iraq. Okay, Iraq doesn't have a bunch of dog lovers. Well, I hope not. I remember looking up Turkey because all that stuff that Yusuf was sending me on Twitter. I'm like, man, what in the world? Because I heard it was a Muslim country. So I'll double check. And yeah, it's like over 90% Muslim. So hopefully there are some countries that are not like that. I remember those stories that came out of this part of the world where they would have cullings. They would even have cullings as far north as Russia. Y'all remember before the Olympics, they had this sort of culling up there in Russia. China. I think maybe no, not China. It's just Russia. Yeah, man. Egypt, I remember they carried out a culling. Most of the world's cullings took place in the Middle Eastern nations. And the big reason why I thought was because these are Muslim nations. But that's not quite the case. Right? Always learning. All right, follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. Big shout out to everybody able to join me for this live stream. Always enjoy chopping it up with you all. Like I pointed out in the community section, y'all have left a lot of comments just this year alone. It's like unbelievable, the number of comments. I had to do the math. Well over 22,000 comments. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of content. You see? And it scares a lot of these behaviors. Yeah, I fear they'll never respond to us. But that's okay. I'll take that as a victory too. You know? I'll take that as something. Shout out to everybody able to join me. And I hope to see you all back here on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.